Greetings all! Today, we will be examining the relatively rare ghost-type Pokemon Sinistea and its rare evolution Polteageist, the two collectively known as the Black Tea Pokémon. While they might not have the most conventional forms for a Pokemon of their type, the members of the Sinistea family are surprisingly potent creatures that can more than make life a bit uncomfortable for those that are subjected to their whims.
Sinistea have bodies that consist of a purple liquid with a yellow swirl in its center that constantly leaks out of a cup. The blue, white, and gold ornate cup they are contained within has a strange face of sorts painted on it as a result of the ghost's influence, and it shows a noticeable chip and broken handle, the latter of which they try and disguise by replacing it with a spiritual hand to hold the cup together. Their evolved form, Polteageist, have upgraded their vessel to a cracked and broken teapot also held together by the physical form in much the same manner as Sinistea. However, in this state, their actual forms are much larger and show a face in their purple liquid body with yellow swirled eyes and a small mouth, their arms and three-digit hands keeping them and their digitless legs anchored inside of the teapot at all times. Sinistea and its evolved form, Polteageist, are unique creatures in that they come as a result of cold, leftover cups and pots of black tea, respectively, being possessed by a wandering spirit. These creatures are distinct in that they do not gain much in the way of actual ghost-type offense naturally, instead relying on energy-draining attacks as their primary source of power, and tend to rely on the pieces of antique tableware that they possess as their primary means of defense. While they are not enough to offer much in the way of physical defense, they can still make themselves a dire threat with strong special defenses, especially in an evolved state.
Curiously though, it is important to note that the teacups that Sinistea possess, as well as the teapots that are possessed by Polteageist, are actually part of an extremely rare line that was only produced in the Galar region for a few years before the business that made them went under.
As a result, the genuine pieces of tableware made by this company are extremely rare and valuable, and there are far more forgeries than authentic specimens, with only 1 out of every 100 specimens being the real deal. Thankfully, it is possible to tell them apart, as the authentic specimens will have a special stamp on the underside to mark their authenticity. It is further interesting to note that this changes how they evolve, as the forgeries and authentic specimens of Sinistea can only evolve in the presence of specific items. While Sinistea that are forgeries require cracked pots to possess in order to evolve into Polteageist, the authentic ones need chipped pots instead, ensuring that their mark of authenticity continues even after they manage to evolve.
As far as combat goes, the fragile bodies of these creatures result in them having weak armor as their only base ability, though those that have bodies that are charged with more spiritual energy than normal can also have access to Cursed Body as a hidden ability.
In looking at their stats, in the case of Polteageist, these creatures share a fragile and somewhat slow state with the vessels that they choose to occupy, with most of their base stats being below average for a fully evolved ghost-type Pokemon. At the very least though, their bodies are resistant against energy-based attacks, and they are surprisingly powerful with special attacks, much more so than one might expect, so the base special attack and special defense stats are above average for a fully evolved ghost-type Pokemon, helping to give them at least some use in general combat. Like many types of ghost-type Pokemon, Sinistea feed off of the life energy of others, and typically do this by having themselves ingested and stealing what energy they can while they are inside of their victim. However, because of their choice of corporeal form, they do not get many opportunities to do this, and the time they have to absorb life energy is rather fleeting, as the cold, spoiled liquid they are embedded within has a horrible taste and causes many to spit them right back out as soon as they hit the taste buds.
This makes it hard for these creatures to really do much with their forms and are thus held back quite a bit compared to other ghost-type Pokemon, not even being strong enough to effectively evolve without finding a special item to change their form and acquire a stronger state of corporeal existence.
They are also made less effective as enemies by the fact that they actually have a key weak point in their form, the swirl in the middle of their bodies. This yellow swirl is actually where their core essence is located and must remain calm and not too badly shaken for them to keep a steady mind. If this swirl gets stirred, the Sinistea that is a part of it will become dizzy and unable to battle or defend itself properly, which is also the only time where it can be safe to ingest them, if you can get past their horrible taste. Some have palates that are accustomed to their taste and find them to be a rare delicacy, but as a whole, they are usually best avoided to prevent any chance of them stealing one's life energy before floating away to rest and wait for another thirsty victim to come along. Polteageist are a great deal stronger than their pre-evolved form as a result of being able to occupy a much larger corporeal form, and can thus increase the size of their power and essence by filling their teapot entirely. This not only grants them a significant boost to their base special attack and special defense stats, both approximately doubling in base value, but it also increases the strength of the energy sapping attributes, getting access to both the strength sap and curse moves with a bit of help, as well as the signature technique, the tea time technique, which allows them to use their bodies to trick others into taking a snack break, forcing them to eat their held berry on the spot if they have one. These creatures are generally calm-natured, but if angered, they will not be afraid to spray their tea forms into the mouths of others, causing a horrible chilling sensation if they are then swallowed by their offender. Thankfully, they tend to be more deliberate with how they use their energy-draining attacks, so there is little worry of them causing serious harm with this response, them acting more as a move of defense than offense. Even so, it is known that if a Polteageist really trusts its trainer, it will allow them to take very small sips of its form in order to savor their unique flavor and aroma, which is a bit easier to handle than that of Sinistea, though it is still a bit of an acquired taste. Despite their comical forms, these creatures are actually among the strongest of Ghost-type Pokemon offensively, and can more than put their limited Ghost-type offenses to good use to make themselves a threat, even if they might not look like one to the untrained eye.
Though they might end up making afternoon tea more than a bit awkward, the members of the Sinistea family are unique creatures that can certainly make for an interesting afternoon encounter for most. It might be best to avoid them if you can, but if you've got the right china on you, they can be made into potent fighters that can definitely put their potent attacks to good use, even if their natural move variety isn't that great.
Just do yourself a favor and try not to take a sip of any tea you find untouched in a forest. The urge to at least get a quick drink of something could potentially be quite great, but take too much of a sip and you might find yourself drained of energy and out like a light before someone can even put the kettle on.
Thank you all for watching this video. It is always a pleasure to help teach others about the world of Pokemon and the many facets of it that exist in both the world we call home and the world they call home. If you'd like, please leave a comment and subscribe and ring the bell to this channel to get regular updates on content and anything else that might be going on. You can find me and my written work on DeviantArt under the name Titus, and be informed of information and content uploads on my Twitter page and my Patreon page. Donations are always welcome. Always remember, the world of Pokemon is a vast and varied place, and there's no telling what secrets might be hiding just around the corner. So keep watch, stay vigilant, and always prepare for the unexpected. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.